Hello and welcome in this video in which we will cover the concept of using leverage in trading. First off, I would like to stress that trading on leverage is extremely risky and not recommended if you are a beginner. Losses can become very large very quickly and you can liquidate your entire account within the blink of an eye if you're not careful. Having that said, leverage is also known as margin trading. It is a system that allows the trader to open a position size much larger than your available capital. Trading on leverage lets you borrow funds from the exchange to trade with. This allows you to trade with twice, 3 times, and in some cases 100 times larger position size than you actually have available in your account. In other words, you can trade with more money when you have less capital available. This allows you to gain larger profits if the trade turns your way. But most importantly, if used correctly, it can save you from exposing actual capital in the market, on which I will expand in a bit. While this all may sound really great, the downside is that if a trade does turn against you, the losses will also be significantly higher. The more leverage you use, the closer your liquidation price will be to the price where you have entered the trade. If you get liquidated, then that means that you have lost your entire position size or your entire account balance, and there is no way to get that lost money back. If you do insist on using leverage, then it is recommended to never go above 5 times leverage. So, how does leverage really work? In this example, imagine you have $1,000 into your account and you're going to enter into the trade with 1 times leverage. So, if you enter into a long position with that $1,000 and the price moves up by 1%, then you have gained $10 in profits. If price goes down by 1%, you have lost $10 on that trade. Now let's assume you enter the same trade, but this time on 3 times leverage. That means that you are now having $3,000 available to trade with. $1,000 from your own capital and $2,000 borrowed from the exchange. If price now goes up by 1%, you have now gained $30 in profits. If the trade is successful, upon closing out of the trade, the $200 you borrowed are returned to the exchange and you can keep the $30 profit for your own. On the flip side, if the trade turns against you, then you are paying back the $2,000 to the exchange and lose $30 of your original $1,000 that you put into the trade yourself. So I think this illustrates that using leverage works more or less as a magnifying glass, and that wins are magnified, but the losses are magnified as well. So when it comes to using leverage and how to go about it, I would say it's unwise to enter into a trade with your entire account size, as that would really indicate poor risk management, as the more leverage you use, the more money you're actually risking. So how can we use leverage sensibly? Although using leverage is much more dangerous and risky, there are benefits. A good example of using leverage would be, for example, the following situation. If your portfolio is diversified across different exchanges and if you're using multiple trading accounts, then usage of leverage can work in your favor. So imagine you have a portfolio worth of, let's say, $50,000. But you only have $1,000 allocated on an exchange, while the rest maybe sits on another exchange, or you've stored that in a hardware crypto wallet, for example. So after you have worked out the correct position size based off of your entire portfolio, then you can use leverage to meet the desired position size, even though maybe you don't have enough money into your trading account on that particular exchange. So now you can use leverage without having to move over additional funds to the exchange you're planning to take this trade on. And you can keep your money on the other exchanges or let it stored in the hardware wallet. So if you have correct risk management, you can keep your losses in check. And on top of that, you can avoid having to move over funds around every time you take a trade. In conclusion, it is important to note that this video serves for educational purposes only and is not actual trading advice. So use this video to get acquainted with the concept of leverage trading, but do your own research and trade based off of your own decisions, as ultimately you will be responsible for your own trading ideas. That concludes this video on introduction to the concept of leverage trading. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye!